How do I prove financial harm in my bar defense application? This is a really important question to answer because it's a huge part of how the reviewer at the Department of Ed will determine if you're going to get your student loans discharged. It's not because a school lied. It's because the applicant didn't prove the financial harm to them. And that's what made their claim weaker after all. So this is going to be a video breakdown on how to prove financial harm in the bar defense application. First of all, I'm Kat, the founder of LoanSense. Our mission is to help make student loans and personal finance information accessible and jargon-free for everyone so that you can get done paying with your student loans and achieve other dreams and financial goals in your life. So part of breaking down financial harm in its simplest terms is because bar defense, this is a very important section of the bar defense application that often trips people up. Okay, so before we dive in, quick note, at the end of this video, we'll show you how to apply for a free consult, as well as announce the launch of our bar defense workbook, where we will just give you all the AI prompts we have helped people use to craft hundreds of bar defense applications and get 4.9 stars on Google. So if you're interested in the workbook and signing up for the wait list for the mid-August launch, in which the workbook will be priced at $27, very accessible pricing. You could draft it in one sitting. Consider signing up for the wait list. I'll give more information at the end about the workbook along with the 15-minute free consult. So I want to dive in. Let's start very simple. Financial harm means the real money it cost you because of a lie the school told you. It's not the fact that you owe the loans. It's about the fact that whatever the school lied to you about led you to enroll, and therefore you took out the loans because of that lie, and any other financial harm, like you didn't get the job placement rate they lie about, so you didn't get the job. What other financial harm did you take on? Or did they lie about transferability of credits and then you had to pay for all new credits at a different program? What is the actual direct financial harm? I want to debunk one thing when I say that, though. When I mean you having financial harm, it doesn't mean you don't have a job right now, you're homeless, and you didn't work for 2 decades, struggling to find employment. You don't have to have that narrative. The financial harm could just be you took out the debt because they lied to you and you had to pay it off. Financial harm does not mean you literally are continuing to be jobless today. You don't have to remain in financial harm to exhibit that you had financial harm. I just want to make that very clear. Financial harm does not mean you're currently jobless, homeless, whatever negative repercussions does not still have to remain to have had prior financial harm. So there's a difference between financial harm currently versus prior financial harm. I hope that is clear. But financial harm is defined as actual dollars lost caused by the school's misrepresentation, not just bad feelings or disappointment. I want to make it very clear. A weak bar defense claim is all about feelings. Like, I felt like the professors were bad and weren't certified. Feeling is not a strong claim, but fact. Like, the school lied about the job placement rate. I took out the debt. I couldn't get the job. I'm back at prior job I had before the program. That's very clear. You could say that with numbers and details. That's very clear. But if you said the school told me I might get a job here and I didn't, and you don't have any proof and it's very generalized, financial harm is money lost, not feelings. I want to make that clear. Financial harm equals money lost, and it's not how you felt. And this is where a lot of people get tripped up, because although I and our bar defense advisors will always validate your feelings, feelings are not necessarily the base. They could be the base for a strong claim, but they are not in itself a strong claim. Like, the professors were bad. That's not a strong claim, right? So the myth I need to bust right now is I took out $40,000 of loans. Isn't that harm? No, taking out loans itself does not count as financial harm on itself, which surprises most people. I want to talk about that. That's at least under the new rules, and it totally depends what legal framework you need to use. So check out our entire bar defense masterclass where I break down the legal framework, but the workbook that we're going to release in mid-August will also cover the legal framework and tell you exactly what legal framework you need to apply under. And it's very important because it will literally dictate the additional pages you have to fill out of the 39 pages. So legal framework, really important. But the new ruling that makes it more strict, the new ruling that came out that makes it more strict is that taking out $40,000 of loans alone is not financial harm, which is surprising. So if you're planning to use a period of unemployment as evidence, you can't just say you were unemployed. You have to prove that it was involuntary, meaning you didn't choose it. And it wasn't about the general economy at the time. So you can't say, oh, I had stints of unemployment because of this degree, right? Because they could say, well, it could have been the economy. It could have been many other reasons. So what does count? Let's talk about what actually counts as financial harm. Pay stubs or W-2s showing what you actually earned compared to what the school promised you to earn. That's really strong, right? As well as documentation showing you were laid off or whether you decided to leave the job. Like you need documentation you were laid off. Proof that you had a lower paying job outside of the field because your credentialing didn't lead to the promised results. That's a really great one. You could not secure a job in the credentialed field. You had to take an old job where you earned less. You could literally say, these were my pay stubs, and this was the posted advertised job placement rates that would guarantee me X amount of earnings. This was the market rate for that promised job, but I only made, instead of the 75,000, I was making 40. There's an example. Here are my pay stubs. That's strong evidence of not achieving the promised financial result. Prove that you have a lower paying job outside of the field because the credentials didn't lead to the promise. That's important. Records showing you turned down another job or different school because you relied on the school's promises. And if it exists, any comparison data between graduates of a legitimate similar program versus what you earned. That is also decent. But words alone isn't enough. You have to have evidence. One more thing that catches people off guard is your own written statements on its own is no longer enough to prove a case. That's really important. You need actual documents backing it up, not just your account of what happened, okay? This is exactly why gathering paperwork now before you apply is really, really important. We have an entire video on evidence. I will link it here. We break down what qualifies as evidence in this video that I will link here. And don't forget timing. You generally need to apply within 3 years of leaving your school or actually when you consolidated your loans. If you are a more recent graduate, again, my full bar defense masterclass will break down that legal framework. I'm not going to go through the entire legal framework in this video or it will go on for 20 minutes. So if you're confused about the legal framework, about the type of evidence to back up your claim, as well as if you have a strong case for financial harm and if you need to based on the new rules, really depending on what legal framework applies to you, consider applying for a 15-minute free consult. We have a limited number of spots for a 15-minute free consult because we only take a few dozen bar defense applications a month because we only take strong applicants. Okay, we have 4.9 stars on Google. If you want to learn more about our 15-minute call and the process to qualify you as a strong candidate or not, the video here at the end will link you directly to learn about our 15-minute process. In the meantime, to learn before you apply to the 15-minute consult, that will be linked here. And lastly, I want to say, again, we have the workbook wait list if you're interested in that, to use our AI prompts to generate your application in one sitting. It will be released at a significantly discounted rate if you sign up for the wait list. So we welcome you to sign up below. So if you're working on your bar defense claim or know someone who is, please share this video because the time boxing, especially if you're a more recent grad, makes it so you have to apply within 3 years. So this requirement is slowly sinking the eligibility of more bars. So if you know anyone who told you that their school lied about credit transferability, job placement rates, as well as even costs, please share this video. It's not too late to at least learn for free and apply for a session. Subscribe if this was helpful, share, and please check out this next video on our 15-minute process. See you there.